Hey, and welcome to the Dice Tower. I'm Camilla, and today we're going to be taking a look at an expansion for Oltree. This is going to be Tales of Oltree, Undead or Alive. It promises to bring some supernatural elements into your game with additional chronicles, a couple new status conditions, things like that. So let's take a look at the components and then we'll discuss my thoughts. Alright, so these are all the components that are going to come in this expansion. I'm not going to go really into how to play, but I will talk a little bit about how they're going to incorporate into the base game, because a lot of it is just incorporated into the base game and the stuff you already have. We don't have a lot of rule changes here. Alright, so first up, we're going to have 3 chronicles that come in it. We have With a Wave of the Hand, and then we have Starved, and finally we have Old Bones. So 3 new chronicles that you can play through. And then we have tokens that are going to be associated with those chronicles as well that might come into play. We also are going to have some new, we'll go over the assignment cards now. These are the cards that are used in the beginning of the game to set the different incidences that you'll work through and hopefully make the game easier for you, give you kind of some objectives. So you have 6 more of these, which are going to, as you can see, have the symbol for the new incident cards that you can shuffle in as well. So a whole new deck of those. And finally, we have Langour cards. Now, these are going to be different status cards that the players can receive as they play through some of the different scenarios of Undead or Alive or the different incidents. So, for example, they might become stuttering, in which they can't use a regular action to build or repair. Or perhaps they become paranoid. Here they get paranoia. You cannot use a regular action to move to a zone containing at least one other ranger. So different statuses like that you will be assigned and you have to work through. These do go away when you take the healing action, or there's other ways to resolve them in different incident cards as well. And that's going to be it. That is everything that comes in the expansion. Like I said, most of it is just supplemental to the regular game that you've already played. Other than the Langour cards, those are new, and you may or may not see them in your playthrough when you use these incidents. So let's go back up top and talk about how I think these incorporate into the base game, and do I think it makes it better? Let's find out. So really there's 3 key things in this expansion that I want to talk about, and I guess they're kind of components here. We have the assignment cards, the incident cards, and then the Langour cards. So like you saw, we do get chronicles as well. These are pretty standard with the base game, so they're just giving you new adventures. So we won't go too much into that. I do think that these are really good and they're very interesting. I think they're on par with the base game. I will say the assignment cards, I want to talk about those. I very much appreciated this. I think they provide fantastic variability to the base game. You get the incident cards, and this allows you to mix it in with the components that you already have. Maybe you've played through a chronicle already, and you're using these incident cards to bring that variability to the different spots around the town or around the fortress. This really seamlessly puts that in, and it gives you that focus. So I was a really big fan of these and just the seamless nature of bringing in another component of the expansion here, and that is the incident cards. These are right on par with the base game as well, I found. I think the writing is good. The choices are really interesting. One of my favorite things about the base game, Oltree, is those decisions that you're making. You're kind of character building very lightly in it. And I think that they provide really interesting decisions as you're reading the clues from the back and the decisions. So I like them a lot. They also bring this supernatural element into the chronicles you've already played. So as you're using the assignment cards to bring in the incident cards from the base game chronicles, you know them, you know where it's going, but it has this supernatural element. All of a sudden now, maybe there's vampires, you come across a coffin that may or may not have a zombie in it. Are you going to open it? You don't know. Oh wait, you decided not to, and the townspeople saw you, and now they're not happy, you know, so it just brings out some really cool moments. So I like them a lot as well. Nothing new or kind of surprising here, but very well integrated. The new thing that this does bring, though, is these Langour cards, and honestly, it's probably my favorite. This is such a small component, such a small change. You might see them, you might not see them. It really just depends on, you know, the variability of the incident cards that come through. I like that they give a little personality to your character. You know, that they might be limiting and it makes you strategize differently, but they're not so crippling that you feel stuck. And so they're overcomeable. You know, maybe it's not that bad and you just deal with it. So for example, in one playthrough, I had to move every turn. That got cumbersome because the guy I was playing was able to take the same action twice. So maybe I wanted to do 2 different events in there and try to kind of clear that deck out or something in the location he was at. And I wasn't able to do that because I had to spend it moving. So is it worth it to me to go and heal that one so I could get rid of that card and utilize my special ability? Another game, I got it and I was paranoid and it wasn't as cumbersome, so I just let it go the whole game. So I really, really like these. I think that they just add another layer of decision in the cooperation where you're trying to decide what you're going to do and how to best puzzle this together for a positive outcome. So I really like these. I think just that little personality is very well received for me. So all in all, this expansion I am really a fan of. I'm going to come in at a 9 for it. It is everything that I want in an expansion. It gives you more of what you know, providing variability and extending the life of a game that possibly could become a little stale as you're playing the same Chronicles over and over again. It's providing that variability with new Chronicles, with new incident cards in order to bring in new assignment cards in order to bring in new incident cards into components you already have. The new information is very streamlined here. If I sit down to play a game of this and teach somebody, I will have no problem putting these Langour cards in. I do not have a problem introducing someone to this game using any of these scenarios or the Undead or Alive incident cards here because I think that it's just so smooth. It's one small rule. I read the rule book, I say that lightly, it is a 1-page leaflet here. I read it and I never referenced it the entire time I was playing with this expansion. So it gives that variability, it livens the game again, and it brings those supernatural elements which I am already a fan of theme-wise. It's something I really like, so it just naturally draws me in anyway. So for me, this is a must-have. It does take a little bit of a dock because there are a couple typos on the cards. I did find that in the base game as well, though. Not a big deal. You know, it's like, oh, that says can't, and they forgot the apostrophe or something like, you know, just little things like that. Or there's one where the sentence read really weird. It's like, I know what you're saying, but that's not what it says kind of thing. Just a little off. And I don't remember what it was right now, but wasn't a big deal, moved on quickly, but I do wish the proofreading had been a little more robust, you know, but I saw that in the base game as well. Yeah, so for me, this is a must-have. I'm definitely putting it in my copy of the game and will just integrate it fully as I teach new players or continue in my own adventures. So that's going to be a 9 for me and a seal of excellence for Tales of Oltree, Undead or Alive expansion. Thanks for joining me here at the Dice Tower. I'm Camilla. Let's go exploring, find some vampires.